Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and in this video today I'll be talking about the upcoming project for the rest of the year. As we all know, right, for the past 4-5 months, project or new launch market has been relatively crazy with the number of sales. So what do we have upcoming, and are there more things to look forward to? Let us deep dive into it. So if you can see from the map over here, these are all the projects in the pipeline. Those that have already been bidded, and it's just a matter of time where they are being launched. Over here, right, it might seem that we have a lot of new launches coming up, but let us break down into the estimated timeline for each project. As you can see, we are way past April, almost at the end of April, and these are the launches. I've actually counted there's 17 launches which will be upcoming from now till end of the year if there's no delay. But Arena East, which was expected to launch end of this month, is actually being delayed. We do not have a timeline yet, hopefully by June or July. And one thing, if I were to break down everything here, is that you will realize most of the projects here are in the core central region. So deep diving into the price, these are the land bid price for each of the single project. I'm missing a few because I can't find the figures anywhere, but unsurprisingly, all the projects in the OCR, they are of a lower land bid, all the way to the highest land bid, which is at Upper House at Orchard Boulevard. Surprisingly, RCR project, Arena East Residences, it's on a much higher land bid price by compared to the rest of the CCR project. This might be because it's a freehold project, hence the premium. So do you think it's worth paying for the premium to buy a freehold in the RCR area, or would you buy something at 99 years in the CCR area? Just let me know your thoughts. So these are the estimated break-even. How they calculate is they base on the marketing cost, the construction cost, and whatever cost they have to top up. And this is the break-even that they arrive. All the information I actually got it from HProp subscription service, which I purchased. So to calculate how much they need to launch for each individual project, right? Just a rough sensing, right? You can multiply it by like 10% or 20%, depending on the developer profit margin. And of course, now we are at times of uncertainty, man-made uncertainty, so developer might be more careful with their pricing, especially when there are so many projects launching in the CCR area. Just a few things to highlight when it comes to the upcoming projects. First thing, it's the number of supply in each individual area. So if you were to look at the OCR area, right, there's only like 5 launches from now till end of the year, and the total supply of unit coming to the market is around 2,670. And what I did is I actually went to HProp to look at the number of new sales over the past 14 years, and I averaged it up. The demand for new sales per year is around 8,298. So the question is, will the upcoming supply be able to meet the existing demand? If not, where will the demand head to? Most likely the resale market, right? Then the effect will be resale market prices will go up. Of course, I'm not saying that there's still existing new launches in the market, but as we all know, the supply is dwindling as well for the existing launches. Then next will be RCR. RCR has the least number of new supply in the pipeline for this year, a total of only 948 units, and 2 of it are actually very small projects, one of it being Arena East Residences and the other is Artisan 8. And so you see the average demand per year for new sale for the RCR area is around 3,800. So if you were to compare the figures, 950 to 3,800, there is still a gap in the supply and demand, which needs to be met. And lastly, we come to the CCR area. Of course, as you can see, the numbers in CCR has the most project launch, 3,900. And let us look at the demand quickly. Demand for CCR is not that great because it's the CCR area, only 1,465 per year demand. So supply in the CCR definitely outweighs the demand, which brings me to my next point. With so many demand in CCR and so little supply in RCR, right? Will the demand in RCR spill over to CCR? That's number one. Because if you look at RCR and CCR price gap, especially with the One Marina Garden launch, it is starting to get more narrow. Will locals look into CCR projects for their purchase? That's number one. And secondly, because all the CCR projects are going to launch within the same timeline, will the price be even more competitive? So if you're someone looking to buy a new launch in the next 3 to 6 months, don't have to rush into the CCR because there is an influx of supply and there will be more units for you to choose from. Okay, of course the quantum is definitely bigger. And with that, I will end off my video with my top 3 pick, meaning which projects I feel will definitely perform better than the rest. Of course, the first one would be my favorite, which is EC lah. Regardless, I feel EC is here to stay. It's the new BTO, so Auto Place will be one of the top selling project. The other one to watch out for will be Canberra Crescent, just because it is the lowest price project coming up in the pipeline. And one more, if I have to pick, would be Margaret Drive, because the project in the RCR area, in the area itself, especially with it being surrounded by a lot of million-dollar HDB and HDB upgraders with huge purchasing powers, right? I feel these 3 projects will perform particularly well in comparison to the rest of the 17 projects. Of course, you need to deep dive into the layout and how much the developer is going to price it at the start of the preview. But Sierra area, personally, I feel will have a harder time selling just because of the supply in the unit and whatever is in the resale market right now for the buyers to choose from. OCR, RCR definitely not an issue because of the undersupply. People do not have much choices, and people in the OCR and RCR area are not selling their house as much as they used to. The time period for flipping is not there anymore. So that's it. These are my top 3 picks: Canberra, Auto, and Margaret Drive. If you do need more information regarding all the projects, or if you want a more detailed breakdown, do remember to tune into my channel, as I'll be deep diving into all these projects when I have more information coming up in the near future.